Hi, please listen to this in its entirety. We're covering slides 51 to 67. We're going to be reviewing some information we already know about how the Earth revolves around the sun and creates a pattern. So you already know that Earth rotates once each day on its axis. That takes 24 hours. And Earth revolves around the sun, and we usually say 365 days, but it's really 365.25 days. And I need you to know the difference between rotates and revolves. Rotates is what happens when it goes around this. Rotates is what happens when the Earth rotates on its axis and takes 24 hours. When the Earth is going around the sun, we call that revolving, and that takes 365 days. You need to memorize the differences. You also need to understand, and which I think you already do, that the Earth is tilted on a 25.5 degree tilt as it's rotating, and that's what causes our seasons. That 23.5 degree tilt creates our seasons. Let's look at this picture here. So this is the sun and this is the Earth. We're seeing the tilt here, and whatever hemisphere is tilted most towards the sun is the one that's receiving the most direct sun's energy, and therefore is going to be warmer. So the northern hemisphere here is tilted towards the sun. That's why it's summer in the northern hemisphere. But over here, the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and now it's summer in the southern hemisphere. Here's another picture that explains it well. Also, a lot of people think that when it's summer, the Earth is closest to the sun. That's absolutely false. It is summer. Actually, the Earth is very far from the sun, or it's furthest from the sun, I should say, when it's summer. But the reason why it's so warm is because the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun when it's summer in the northern hemisphere. All right, I'm going to skip that. Okay, so it's the tilts there that are creating the seasons. All right, so here's another diagram that's kind of showing that. So in the summer, we get the most direct sunlight. In the winter, it's indirect sunlight. So obviously in summer, when we're getting direct sunlight, it's warmer, the days are longer, the temperatures are higher. What did I just do? Well, that stinks. Let me see if I can get to it real fast. Sorry, guys. Don't get dizzy. All right. So days are longer in the summer than they are in the winter. We've already discussed this. You guys know this. Okay, so sunlight travels through less atmosphere. So in the summer, the sun is more overhead. So we see the sun high up in the sky in the summer. In the winter, it's down lower. So when it's high up in the sky, it passes through less of the atmosphere, so it reaches the ground without being reflected or absorbed. Okay, when the sun is at the position at the left, the light passes through more atmosphere than when it is overhead. So in the summer, more sunlight reaches the surface, and therefore it's warmer. Okay, question 12. If the northern hemisphere is experiencing summer, which season would the southern hemisphere be experiencing? And the answer is D, winter. People who live near or on the equator generally experience same temperatures year-round. This is because the sun is always pretty close to being overhead at the equator. The closer you get to the equator, the less your seasons will change over the course of a year. So let's talk about spring and fall. They occur when neither pole is pointing towards or away from the sun. The sun heats both hemispheres equally at these times. So in spring and fall, we have very similar temperatures, but the difference is spring's generally heating up, where fall is starting to cool down. And remember, we talked about equinoxes. The beginning of spring or fall is marked by an equinox. So remember, spring equinox is March 21st. Fall equinox is September 21st. The beginning of summer or winter is marked by a solstice. The summer marks the beginning of summer, June 21st. Winter solstice marks the beginning of winter, December 21st. And that's it. So look for any other assignments on Google Classroom, and thank you.